Hi, I'm Hillary Raimo, and I'm here tonight. I have a great guest joining me this evening. I'm just so excited and thrilled. We are taking calls, and we are doing readings tonight. I would love to introduce my special guest tonight. Her name is Esateys, and she is one of the most extraordinary world visionaries I have ever had the honor of knowing and being friends with. Welcome, Esateys. Are you there?
I am here, and thank you, Hillary. What a gift to be here with you, especially you and all of the people that we are with out there in the world that are with us in this moment. It is such a pleasure and an honor to be here. I'm very excited about what we're going to do this evening, whatever that is.
You never know when we get together.
That's a true statement. The world opens.
It sure does. And, you know, we have callers waiting already, and we have some quick messages already sent, and we will get to each and every one of you in just a moment. But before we begin, I'd like you to just talk to my listeners a little bit about what you do and your background and who you are.
Wow. So I don't have the whole show to do that, right? Just kidding. I am, the very short story is that in 1981, I had a very serious car accident, and I had a near-death experience at that time. And after that, I started having a completely different life. Things that I never even thought of before were suddenly apparent to me. I could see energy. I could see people's bodies. I could see their organs. I could see spirits walking through the hallways. I knew things that I didn't know before, and I became very dedicated over the last many years, 30 years or whatever that's been, to the awakening of mankind. And my real mission of being here on this planet is to support the awakening of mankind and moving through these tumultuous but exciting moments that we are living through right this minute. I have co-founded with my husband, Raphael, an organization called the Interdimensional Peace Project. And the Interdimensional Peace Project is it really puts out a clarion call to those that know on some level that they are here to not only become awakened, but to help support other people in being totally clear about who they are, what they're doing here, and what we can do as a collective society to really shift the vibration of the way our world exists and to create something that is far beyond anything that our minds know to experience or have ever experienced so far.
So when somebody comes to you, what do you do sessions? How do you work with them usually?
Well, actually, I don't actually do private sessions, but what I do a lot of other things. I do seminars, I do retreats, I have a radio show that I did for the last year, which is going to be restarting on October 13th, which is a Monday evening on worldpuja.org. And that is called Multidimensional Living. And I do different calls. I have a 12-week teleconference call series that will be beginning in October. We have an amazing amount of information available on our website. If anyone is interested in learning more, they can go to the Interdimensional Peace Project site, and that site is www.THEIDPP.com. That stands for the Interdimensional Peace Project. So it's THEIDPP.com. And I do something that's very different than what most people do. It's called an activation, where I speak the language of light. And in the language of light, there is a certain frequency and a certain resonance value that literally transforms and awakens people. It clears out their old karma, lifetimes worth of issues fall away, and it's one of the gifts that I feel very honored to have acquired with the awakening that I've acquired over the last however many years that has been. So that's the very short Reader's Digest version.
Would you be willing to do one of those, how about an opening prayer of sorts to begin tonight's show? We have a beautiful circle of questions beginning to form, and we have several people on the lines. So before we begin, would you like to say perhaps a few words in that language of light to spread across the airways around the world?
Sure. I am more than willing to do that. And I would like our listeners to know that this language of light is not English. It won't necessarily make any sense to you, and it's purposeful in that. The reason is that when the information, the frequency, and the vibration, and all of the resonance values that go with energy are taken beyond where it is that the mind is familiar with, the mind can't make sense of it. It can't judge it. I mean, most people will judge anyway, but they can't really judge the pureness of what is coming through. And therefore, it becomes a lot more profound to be able to experience that in your body. So when I'm doing this, I may speak a few English words here and there. I never know how it's going to come through, but just know that it will be powerful, it will be uplifting. And one of the things that's a very profound for those listeners that would like to do so, especially now, if you're driving a car, please don't do this, but if you are not and you would like to, you can sit quietly and breathe in and out through your nose very rapidly. It's called the fire breath. It goes. So if you breathe that the entire time that I'm speaking, it opens up a few of those hidden places that will allow more freedom of movement, and the flow of energy will be more profound in your body. So if everyone is ready, what we'll do is just sit quietly and breathe normally for a moment in through your nose and out through your mouth, quieting the body. And let's go to the fire breath together. Everyone just breathe in and out through your nose. Kiyama kushitira le mata amo o kiyama le reshiata arumuma ayananya ningale le mangala le rashoya shoya mele dan campo o mai shiamba tucha akuchicha katomengalingia to susile le reshiato angoriama ayama le reshiato opa amoshuya ile renanda le shokotoma amo huya mele reshiata ariasato kushi imi kotombangire le rota sishi amaruya mo a amo oma yonone breathe very rapidly. Shumato to Chiamilo Matin Kiliona Meata, or Yaki Chichuchari me Angala Yankiango, Ongarianga, Angariasa Cecilia Muha, Ailirado, Momian and Union and Chichiato, the Sisitu, Animona Lelitia, Akatala Machoshi, Ingaramona Leletata, Ashom Matarisiata, Aletasa Ticotumbe, Ingondinirum, Godiumanda. Ushitu tikidiri dudurele mongrele dera hasohoma, ashitota lelederata, ashwai meleranta, ikondere mata, breathe, yumiyami uminando, aryuptu chuchata te inganda, utata, achunimianda, yasule hini monianda, ashuhule lakata, omo ama acha, anyamanda. See and feel the light opening up through your chest and up through the top of your head. Akatoma leliranda osho hianga hiamuyaniandire sihishia to shioliliata atokota alemanda oshioto ikiato limona hinianda ashohomanda. Sirino gambayonda ikatata elidoni ninando iondo chutota grimanta atunga isheta toja. So be it. And just allow yourself to breathe normally, feeling the presence of the energy and the light in your body. And allow yourself to open up far beyond anything you ever have before as you stay present with us for this next few minutes that we're together. And allow yourself to know that what it is that we have just done is we have opened the heart, we have softened the field, and we have removed all of the contingencies, all of the incongruencies. To the degree that you are able and ready to let go of that, you have just removed so much tension in your body, and yet your body may feel like it's vibrating, and that is powerful. So just breathe gently, stay open, and let's see what we can do together, Hillary. I'm excited.
That was absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. On that note, we're going to take our first call from Andrea in Indiana. Andrea, are you still on the line?
I'm still here, thank you.
Welcome.
Well, thank you very much, both of you.
And do you have a question for us tonight?
Yes, I've been well, I've been between jobs, actually unemployed for a while, and lately I've been, within the last week and a half, actually getting like little bites, and well, mostly not getting a negative, which I really don't think is a negative, but and then the one I received that was positive, I couldn't possibly get there because it was way too far out. And I'm just wondering, is this a point in time for me that I'm sort of preparing for something just right?
And Hillary, I'm going to ask if you would go ahead and give her some feedback for a moment first, if you don't mind, because I'm dealing with this energy that we just opened up, and I'm kind of creating a vortex of energy for all of those that are with us.
Yes,
Is that okay?
I feel it too. Sure, absolutely. Andrea, it's interesting because we all want the perfect job to land in our lap, and when we put the intention out there that we want to manifest something such as a new job, it's something that you have to be very clear with. And I have said this in many other shows, that if you are indecisive about what you want, the universe will give you indecision. It cannot give you what you want unless you're specific about what you want to do and how you want to do it. And let me ask you something. Have you been specific, or are you kind of feeling out this and kind of feeling out that? And maybe what do you want? What would you do if you could do absolutely anything in the world and you had no limitations?
Well, that's a huge question. I had been leaning toward more coaching, training type of work. Now, if my not being clear meant what that pertained to, what the details of that were, well, yeah, because I really am not that familiar. All I know is the kind of thing that I'm capable of doing, I can do those type of things. I've been a counselor, and I've assessed people and evaluated tests and things like that. So I'm very capable of doing that, and I thought that would be sufficient. So that's as far as I can go, and I know
Is your heart in it? Is your heart in what you do?
Yeah, I'm beginning to get into that because it's been new, and I didn't think I was capable of doing it. So now I'm starting to believe it, and perhaps that's one of the places that isn't too clear.
Okay. So what is it a question of then? Is it a question of finding the right job with the right elements of the job that you want, the right salary, the right time, those kinds of things? Or is it a choice of different, specifications within the actual work that you do? Talk to me a little bit more about what you're trying to manifest.
Well, since I hadn't been clear for so long, I had to start over practically because I was pretty much not believing in myself and my capabilities. So when I started to look at it, I thought, well, I can do a lot of coaching and job training. I have always been somewhat of a person who's been able to evaluate what's going on with an individual, like sort of fill them out, pretty much empathic. And I thought I could do something with that where I could help people along in training and maybe in personal matters as well. So I knew that nothing really was out there like that. But in the meantime, I had to find something, and I haven't been very successful at it. So, yeah, it's been kind of confusing because it's new to me. I've made a lot of changes in my life, and I'm not quite sure what's going on with this not being able to nail anything down right now.
It's a difficult time in the world right now because there is so much fear and there is so much, the whole collective consciousness right now is really being asked to make a choice between a fear mentality and one of love. And with the economy the way it is and the way that things are happening in the world, it's really hard to stay out of that fear consciousness. I would say to you, Andrea, to perhaps sit down and get connected with your center and really ask yourself, what do you want? What do you really, really want? Because what I'm sensing is some indecision someplace with how to either manifest this. What are the steps? I mean, take a look at it. Is it practical? Because if it's practical, then it really is just about going out and figuring out step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then going ahead and taking the action to do that. The theme of tonight's show is law of attraction and how that relates to empowerment. And when we talk about the law of attraction, we can't just sit there and say, okay, I want this, and then sit back and not do anything. We have to actually take action to go out and actually fulfill what we're doing. We have free will and we have fate. And fate happens, but free will kind of drives the car down the line of fate. So we may take some turns and twists and turns here and there along the way. When it comes to a specific job, if you're trying to make money in between the time that you're manifesting what it is you're really trying to do with the coaching, I would say to you, be open about what is coming in, because sometimes we think we know where the money's going to come from, and we set up a preconceived notion of what you're willing to do and what you're willing not to do to make money. And we have to remember that money is a sacred tool, and it's something that we do or we bring into our lives to ultimately fulfill our true purpose in life. Does that help a little bit, or do you want to go into something else a little deeper?
Well, I would like something deeper, because I've had lists for over a couple of years now, and I have worked on that, and I've worked on me, and I would say I'm a lot more confident than I've been in many years. So, I would you were saying something about maybe getting something, I think you were saying sort of like in the interim until I get to the point where I do like my real purpose, maybe. So,
oh, yeah. I think that's really important.
I have definitely put out there what I wanted as far as writing things down, and then whatever came to me, what felt right. So it did take a while to get that list together, but it is what I want. So I'm just curious as to whether that is taking place, because it did take me a long time to get lists together and to do.
Well, I can tell you right now, Andrea, that it is absolutely in the works, because your intention has already been set to manifest that. So what then happens is kind of a domino effect with energy. You begin to have circumstances arise in your life that perhaps wouldn't have arisen had you not set that intention. So I would just say, yes, absolutely, it's coming. And as long as you keep your intention and your focus geared towards what you're trying to manifest, then the universe will line up these things that you need, the people that you need to meet, the experiences that you are meant to experience, and it will all line up for you, because you are a co-creator of your life. So as you decide on what you want, then the energetics realign themselves so that you can manifest that. And in the meantime, perhaps manifesting a job, and we all need money, we have to pay our bills, it's just a fact of life. So in between, I would say absolutely, do whatever you have to do. You are not your job, honestly. You are higher consciousness. You are a co-creator of reality. So whatever you do out in the world as far as a job goes is simply one step towards your purpose in life. Esateys, do you want to go ahead and put some input here?
I do. I'd like to just say a couple things, and pardon me for interrupting you there for a second. What I see is it's almost like a split down the middle. It feels like what you should do or you need to do to gather income, and yet there's a passionate part of you that really would like to develop and enhance her empathic and her counseling from that standpoint at a deeper and more profound level. And when I look at that side, what I see is that there's a lot of fear around there, meaning that there is, although you have improved your self-confidence, there's another part of you that's a little bit still uncertain about that, or a little bit apprehensive about really coming to the forefront in full expression of that. And what I would suggest is that, and it's right along of what it is that Hillary's speaking about, and that is that I would spend some time really gathering up your passion for what you would like to do, and start not only thinking about it or writing out, I would start visualizing myself doing it, and I would be practicing with everybody that I possibly could to really gather the feedback that you need so you gain the deeper levels. I don't feel that the insecurity, for lack of a better term, is so much conscious as it is on a subconscious level. It almost looks cellular. And it also has to do with the fact that in other lifetimes where you have been, when you have stepped out and you've spoken the truth and you've been direct, that it has been sometimes life-threatening for you. So it's a very subtle subconscious fear kind of thing that I see there. And yet you have a great gift, you have a great skill, and it's just a matter of your willingness to be more bold and to be more direct about it. And remember that you cannot make a mistake. You can't do anything that can be wrong. There isn't really a wrong in the world. There is only experiences that will give us certain results, and every result is going to give us an answer or a lesson or a message or something that will expand us to the next level. So if you go out there and you get a job that may not be your very first preference, but it pays the bills, then look at that as a way that you can sustain the totality of who you are expressing, and no matter what it is that you're doing, no matter where you are. And Hillary was right. It's not that you are that job. It's who you be in what it is that you are doing. So practice your true passion while you're doing whatever you're doing. And if that is not the counseling or the whatever, then be that and start practicing that even with the people that you're with, even if you don't express it. Intuitively, start to see what it is that you are seeing and feel what it is that you're feeling. And out of that, you will be living that out until you reach a place where you're manifesting it as a full-time position, which is what I really hear that your heart wants to do. And you have a lot to give people, so don't forget that piece and don't give up on that, but just be willing to go inside and say, you know, I know there's a little piece of me that might be scared. Maybe I can't even see that, but I am willing to speak my truth anyway.
Hey,
Andrea, how does that resonate with you?
That resonates very well because I know there's so much truth in it, even though I can't express it verbally. It's right. I did have this underlying fear that I couldn't put my finger on. I didn't know what was going on, and I did feel like it was past life. So, yeah, I have a lot of work to do, but I feel very optimistic.
Well, Andrea, we send our blessings and love, and we wish you well. And, you know, stay in touch with us. And really, we just send you all the love and joy and beauty for your path and your choices. And we support you in everything that you're doing. Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you.
And remember,
Bye-bye.
you can do this, girl. You can do this. This is your part. This is your reason.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks, Andrea.
Right.
Next, we have Carmelea from Florida. I hope I said that right. Hello.
Carmela.
Carmela. Well, what a beautiful
yes,
name.
Yes, from Florida. And just when the show started, this thunderstorm and beautiful rain started to come in and just like cleanse the whole area. So it was really wonderful. And I really am very honored to be able to speak to the divine Miss E. I have been listening to all of her activations many, 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 many times. And I really see how they've helped. And every Wednesday night when you do your prayers, I notice that the next day I feel change. There's some sort of change. I don't always understand what the change is, but there's a change. And I wanted to ask you, I have been a teacher of young children and a counselor all my life. I'm in my 50s, and suddenly at this time in my life, everything is gone. Almost everything is gone. My family doesn't seem to want to have anything to do with me. All my friends have left. Everybody I know has left. My husband has left, it's like I'm dead, but I'm alive, and I don't mean that in a psychiatric sort of state. I know very clearly what's going on, but I don't know why. It's like, you know, like on Verizon, they on the television, they say it's the dead zone, and I don't know what my higher self wants me to continue to do. I've tried to get jobs still working with children, because I have a lot of experience working with Montessori children. and I have a lot of experience working as a reader and an advisor and as a spiritualist, that I've been doing this. Also, the language of light that you speak is so unusual, because from a young woman till now, people have told me I wake up in the night, and when the way they say, this is how you speak, and I go, oh, that sounds strange. But when I heard you speak, I heard it for the first time. It was almost not identical, but very similar to the way you were speaking. And it was a great revelation to me to know that somebody else can speak that. You know, it's like I'm not the only crazy one around here. You know, it's like I spoke it, and I would speak it at night. I would wake up in the night, and I didn't remember speaking it. It would only be. It wouldn't be conscious. It would be subconscious. And that's where I'm at. I'm in a dead zone. It seems like I've lost everyone, my job including, and but not because of anything that really happened. You know, I mean, there wasn't, all of these things aren't based on any kind of wacky behavior or unusual occurrences. It was just
Carmela, I'm going to interrupt you just because I just can't hold myself back anymore. And that is, I want to say to you that you are in the most awesome place that you could ever hope for. Truly, you are in the most powerful place that people wait lifetimes to get to the place where everything is literally stripped away. When you reach that pure, naked level of vulnerability, you stand in the pureness and the totality of love shining down on you, through you, and from you. When you are away from all the attachments, when you are away from all of the things that you have held you together as a false sense of security and a false sense of value, oh my gosh, you become so malleable, so flexible, so open, and so unified with the universe, with God, whatever your word is. And so you have created a tremendously powerful time of awakening for you. You now emerge from the ashes. The phoenix rising is the place that you're at right now. And what you were asking, what is it that your God wants or your spirit wants? Well, it wants you to go ahead.
No, that's exactly. I don't know. I mean, I look and I see nothing. You know, I just see. I'm here in the moment. That's all.
Okay.
You know, I don't know where to go. You know,
and that is your gift. So what I would say to you is that you stay in that moment and you stay pure and empty as you possibly can. Because the emptier you become, the more powerfully you will start to hear. And from you will emerge the truth of you, the truth of your soul, the truth of your heart will come forward. And you will suddenly have a moment of thought will come from wherever. You'll have a dream. You'll pick up a book and you'll have a knowing. Oh, yes, that's for me. Meanwhile, stay in a place of doing what it is that you love to do and that you know how to do. The children thing, I see you working with very advanced children that are very awake already, a lot of indigo children, Crystalina Rainbow, all those other children that are out there. You have the ability to connect with them, but you have not been ready to work with them until you are stripped from all of your programs, beliefs, and all of the stuff, because, first of all, they're not interested in that, and secondly, that's not what you want to teach. And we can only teach the love, which is what we are, if we are connected to that. So as you allow your whole world to fall apart, you allow the truth of your world, which is already constructed, to emerge, and you will blossom into that by your willingness to be patient, by your willingness to stay connected to the truth inside yourself, always be impeccable to what your heart says, and you allow yourself to do whatever it is that you have to do to stay at the highest frequency possible by listening to the activations, by coming to radio shows, by reading books, by coming to seminars or retreats, wherever it is that you feel that you have the true connection of who you are being expressed and and expanded upon, then you do that because everything else in the world is temporary, it's illusionary, and you don't really want to spend your time there. You want all of your life to emerge from within, from that truth that is screaming to come out from within you. You're in such a great place, girl.
You really are, Carmela. I have to add my 2 cents here too. You know, it's almost like
Thank you.
You are sitting in a room and you have emptied everything out, and you're sitting in the middle of the floor and you're looking around at the walls and you're thinking, what now? And what now is a very, very powerful, it's almost like you've breathed in and you've exhaled, and now you're at that moment of pause before you take your next breath, which is a very, very powerful place. And it's a place where you begin to reach out and redefine who you are. You've shed away the cocoon. You know, Carmela's been in a cocoon and she's been dreaming her life, and everybody's been in it. And you said yourself that you've been doing the activations, you've been doing the work, and as you raise your vibration, it's very difficult for those around you that have not raised their vibration along with you to stay at your level. So what happens at that point is eventually things will shed from your life, because you are now beginning to paint your walls in your room and choose colors. There's a key here, though. There's a key, because you can sit there and see the emptiness, or you can sit there and see the potential. And that's the difference. And that's
I go back and forth. Some days I feel so lonely, I feel like I can't stand it. I feel so alone. And other days I feel so free of everything that could possibly, it's like being reborn in some way.
You're going to
a new life.
You're going to experience that back and forthness because your power is testing you in a way, but power never wants you to fail. Power always wants you to succeed, but it will test you. And we go back to what we know. We're creatures of conditioning. We go back to what we know. We go back to what we think we know. And when we begin to shed these things, you know, we get a little scared that we're shedding, and we, no, I have to go back to what I know. And there's an opportunity for you to stand fearless, stand tall, and claim your power in the world and decide where you're going to go from here. I see great things happening for you, Carmela. Thank you so much for calling in. I hope this was helpful.
It was very helpful, and it was great to talk to both of you. And I've been so wanting to talk to you personally. It's just, I can never say your name, so I call you the divine.
My name is pronounced Esateys. Esateys, but it's interesting. Many people call me E. So it's just so much
That's
easier.
what I call you. I always call you the divine Miss E.
That's very sweet.
I'm listening to the divine Miss E right now, and I've listened to you many, many times, and I'm hoping to come to a seminar soon. Seeing that I'm not working, why not? I mean, where should I go, right? And it's a long way, but I'm sure I can make it. So thank you both very much. Thank you, and you are me, and I am you, and we are all one. Thank you.
Right.
Don't be that. You're right. Take care, love.
Hi. Next we have Lily from Arizona. Hi, Lily. Are you still there?
Yes, I am. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you so much for holding. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Actually, I just accidentally found your radio show on the internet tonight, so that's exciting.
There's no accidents, you know, Lily.
I know. I wanted to talk about manifesting, since that's what this program was about. And I've been successful in manifesting throughout my life at times, and at times it just doesn't happen, no matter, even if I'm doing the same thing. And I've always wondered about outside forces interfering with manifestation.
In
other people's negativity, other people not wanting to see you succeed or manifest, and how those energies interfere possibly with.
Well, Lily, let me interject here real quick, because this is really an important question, and I'm so glad that you held on and waited for us to get to you, because, you know, this is a really, really important topic. You know, when we began to move out into the world in whatever way, or we're manifesting or whatever it is we're doing, and we experience people that are in our lives that perhaps seem to be sabotaging what we're doing or being negative or not supportive in some way, there's a couple things that are really important about that. One, it's important to notice that that's happening. And two, it's important to ask yourself, where is that coming from within you? I would suggest for you to take it as a mirror. Because once we put things outside of us, we put power outside of us. And we take what's already naturally within us and make it on the outside. And that's a tricky place to be. So I would say, and this may not make sense right now, but you have to trust me on this. If you do some digging, there will perhaps be an aspect of yourself deep within your core that is some way, in some form, trying to sabotage either your success, your project, your relationships, something. Ask yourself, how am I being negative in the world? Take responsibility for the energetics in your life that surround you and claim them back by asking yourself, what does this reflect to me? One of my greatest teachers that I've ever had the honor of working with in my lifetime would always do this to me. I would come to her and I would say, oh, everything is just so awful and everything is falling apart and nobody supports me. And everybody's so negative. And I really would say this, and she'd say, well, what are you going to do about it? And she'd say, what is this mirror to you? What is it inside of you that is being negative or trying to sabotage? And I would always insist there was nothing. Oh, there's nothing inside of me. But every time I stepped back and crawled back into my, introspection cave and took a look at what was going on inside of me, there was always some kind of fear or some kind of unworthiness or some kind of doubt. And that energy is such a hard energy. It's like mercury. It's like trying to put your finger on something that you can't quite catch. So how do we disperse negative energy? One, we put white light around us and we take a look at ourselves. And if somebody is consistently negative, then as we confront that energy within ourselves, we become empowered to confront that energy in others. Does that make sense?
It does. And like you say, it's a lot of soul searching, and I've been doing that for decades. I've been asking those questions. I've been self-reflective for a very long time. So I agree with you. I have self-sabotage as a result of not possibly having the support, maybe feeling not worthy of having it somewhere on a cellular level or unconscious.
Do you expect people to not support you?
Probably. Sometimes. I feel like, oh well, if I request something, just because I've been conditioned that way not to expect it, and I realize that.
Lily, who told you? Somebody told you at some point in your life to have this expectation. Who was that?
To have an expectation of not being supported.
Yeah, somewhere along the line, you got the message, either as a little girl or as you were growing up, that you're not worthy of support and love.
Oh, right. No, I've experienced that. It wasn't just one person. Mm-hmm. And I understand that. That's where it came from.
And how do you heal that when that wound comes up? When that wound surfaces in your life, what do you do with that?
Well, now that I'm aware of it, I tell myself that that's not true.
Do you believe that?
Yeah, I do believe that. I do want to change. I do want that energy to change in my life.
And so when that energy comes up in your life, is there something that you could do to celebrate it?
The energy of what comes up?
Well, the energy, because what we try to do is squash things. A lot of times when we have uncomfortable feelings come up, we tend to do everything we can do to get rid of them and to, distract ourselves, to do something else. What I'm asking you or suggesting is perhaps to find a way, for the inner sabotager, the inner aspect of you that sabotages yourself. Because feeling expectations of not being supported is a way of sabotaging ourselves in whatever we're trying to do. What I would suggest to you is to create something physical, whether that's anything. It could be anything. It could be a fetish. It could be wind chimes. It could be anything. And make that dedicated to the inner aspect of you that sabotages yourself, and give it a voice, give it an expression, and put it someplace where you can see it. And so when you go about your everyday, you see that particular thing. Okay? And you've taken it out of you and you've manifested it into the physical realm, which in a sense takes it out of you, right?
Right.
And then when you see it, I want you to smile, and I want you to honor it, and I want you to honor the lessons that it's brought you your whole life, because those are valuable lessons we would not have learned had we not experienced that. So we really do need to honor all aspects of ourselves, whether they're of the light or of the dark, or they're comfortable or they're not comfortable, or they're our greatest qualities or they're not our greatest qualities. So I want you to do something between, and maybe call back in next week, or email me, or get in touch with Esateys, or whatever you do. I want you to do something between now and then to create this aspect of yourself in the physical form, in the third dimension, that represents this aspect of yourself. And I want you to make it beautiful. I want you to add beauty to it. I want you to decorate it with colors that you think are beautiful. And I want you to think about the experience as you're doing it, and share that with me, or at some point, if you can, if you would like to, whether it's privately or on the air. I would love to hear your experience of that, because what I'm picking up instantly is this need for this energy to come out of you 100% and then some, and you need to birth it into the world so you can let it go. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, and I like that idea. To physically bringing it out, manifest it, so it becomes tangible, what it is. So when I feel when I become aware of this feeling of not being supportive, that is my own self-sabotage, and that I should go to that.
Well, is it? Is it? Answer your own question. I mean, think about that. When you feel like you're not being supported, do you feel, you have to go back and say, do I feel worthy of support? Am I worthy of being heard and seen and supported in this lifetime? Absolutely. 130,000% yes. And that's one of the biggest wounds and you know what? I've been there. I've worked with clients who have been there. It is a very common and hard lesson to learn, and it's a core issue. So it's at the basics of our energetics. But you know what? They're life lessons, and we've come into the physical world to work with these lessons. So they are indeed good enemies in the sense that we're here to slay them. Energetically, hypothetically, we're here to slay them. We're here to conquer them, and we're here to move forward as a warrior or a hero on our own journey. We are really on a journey through this lifetime, and everything we encounter, both physically and non-physically, is an aspect of our own story. And so when you encounter somebody who's negative, put white light around you, because there are times when things come at you that are negative, that may not be of your own doing. So what I want you to do when you feel like, okay, let me feel if this is mine or if this is someone else's, I want you to simply say, and this goes to everybody listening, this is a very simple way of sending back negative energy. I want you to just get centered, take a couple deep breaths, and I want you to simply say, I send back all negative energy to those who sent it, and I let it go. And so it is. And it cuts the luminous fibers, it cuts the energy strands, if you will, because when we think, when we have thoughts, those create energy. So when somebody's thinking negative things and it's kind of coming at you, it's creating like a thread, if you will. If you can imagine a spider web, it creates a thread. So, that will just go through and send back whatever does not belong to you. But then I want you to look at what does belong to you. And I want you to stand up tall and proud and say, I am so worthy of being heard in this world. I am so worthy of being seen. I so deserve the support. And you will begin to attract that to your life. You'll begin to manifest that. And you may have to go through what we were just talking about with Carmela, this space of emptiness where you have actually lost things or people or jobs or places within your life, and you have to then stand and witness and allow that to happen because you're raising your vibration, you're attracting new things to your life, but you're attracting more support. I've been there. I understand exactly what you're talking about, and it's not easy. But I would try that. I would give that a try to manifest. Esateys, do you have anything to add on this? I'm sure.
Well, I will just try to keep it brief, and that is that what I see here is that there is a great deal of grief around your heart, a great deal of sadness, a great deal of loneliness and emptiness and depression, actually, all wrapped around your own sense of being loved and lovable. So I would just add to all those awesome things that Hillary just suggested to, you might want to consider, there is a little device called a motivator, and this motivator it's very small, maybe it's 3 inches by 3 inches or smaller. It has a little computer chip in it. We actually sell them on our website. I don't think they sell them in stores. And this can be set. It's a timer that can be set from anywhere from 1 minute to 24 hours. And every time it goes off, it resets itself and it vibrates. It doesn't make an outside noise. And when you put that on your pants or wherever, every time it goes off, I used to set mine for about every 3 minutes, but you don't have to do it that often. I'm just a little fanatical in everything I do, I think. But at any rate, every time it went off, I would, whatever I was working on at that moment, and what I would suggest for you is to stop what you're doing as best you can. Take a very deep breath, center yourself, see the light come down through your body or out through your heart and your soul area, and say, I am worth loving. I am worth loving. And if you want to make that a little more extensive, you can say, I am loved, I am lovable, and I am so worth loving. And when you repeat that every 3 to 5 minutes, day after day, what happens is it starts to penetrate into the subconscious mind, and the things that will come up, you may have even more things come up. And when they do, feel them. Cry the tears that are hidden and they're shielded and that you haven't been with yet. Let the anger be there and let it move through you. All of these are human experiences. There is nothing good or bad about any emotion, but any emotion that we're not willing to address, anything that we put away, is going to own us and suppress us, and that's what's happened over years and years with you. And if you allow yourself to open up and just love yourself for all of your stuff, then it's like a totally awesome. It used to be that people in my life, in particular partnerships in the old days, would come up and say, oh, you're so selfish, or to really try to get me to feel guilty or badly about whatever it was. And I finally reached what it is that I'm speaking to you about, because I've been in this place exactly just like you and Hillary many, many times. And finally, I reached a place where somebody come up and say, oh, you're so selfish, or you're so whatever. I go, man, you're right. Isn't that awesome? And you know, when you really can say, yeah, so what are we having for dinner? So what? You know,
I love it.
Doing the human thing. What are you doing? You know, and when you become just more light about it and you become free of judging it and you just experience it, whatever it is, it's like, oh, my gosh. So what? And then nothing owns you. The fear can't own you. The grief can't own you. Nothing owns you. You know life differently.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's what I mean by celebrating the aspects inside of you that you judge as not worthy of love. And so I hope on some level, Lily, that helped you. And I would love to hear feedback from you. If you want to get in touch with me through my website or get in touch with Esateys, it would be wonderful to hear back how that works with you. But we have to move on now, and thank you so much for calling. It was just a fabulous question, and I'm sure it helped many people out there, too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Many blessings to you. We have a few minutes left. Renee from Pennsylvania is on the line. Hi, Renee.
Hi, your show's very interesting.
Well, thank you.
And I was wondering, how would you get, if the way the chanting you do or the wording you do, how long would it take to get rid of all your past lifetimes of things that you're going through in this lifetime, the clearing?
Oh, my goodness. That's a really it's a loaded question. And there isn't a real answer that I could answer you specifically because it depends on what is going on inside of a person, what they have really going on, and what level of responsibility they're willing to hold for that. Because it's not as if I or anyone can make your life be all better or cure you or heal you, or it is never about being dependent upon anyone else. You are the master. You are the being of light that created everything that you have by perfect intention, not necessarily consciously, but absolutely for all of the things that you have acquired from all of the things that you have. Therefore, when we get done playing what I call the game called life, then what we have is an opportunity to say, okay, I've had enough. Thank you very much. I choose to be fully awake, totally clear, and completely responsible for everything. And in cleaning that up, that all by itself starts to pull things off. When you utilize the activations, for example, what they do is they support you energetically in connecting with the highest energy inside of yourself. But you notice that what I said earlier after I did this activation is that you will only let go of what it is that you have owned and are ready to let go of. Now, that doesn't mean you have to know what that was consciously, but some part of you has to be complete and has to be willing to really own all of the parts of her, just like we were speaking a few moments ago, that you accept and acknowledge and learn to just be absolutely okay with the happy, sad, mad, glad, the grief, the judgments, the compassion, the sweetness, the hate. All of that is life. All of that is love. All of that is you. And there isn't anything that you are not, and there isn't anything that you're going to be able to deny and ever get free from without accepting that, yes, this is a part of me and I'm responsible for this. So what I have found with the many people that I have worked with is that if you surround yourself with higher vibrating people, if you surround yourself with higher vibrating, like these things, shows and workshops and books and all these different kinds of things, if you connect with people in community that will really support you, this higher vibration will bring up and allow you to release the things that you are ready to let go of. And the activations do that exponentially. When I do retreats and seminars and intensives, huge amounts of shifts occur for people, and I do mean huge, but it's because there's nowhere to hide, and you don't get to pretend that I'm going to do it for you. What I do is create a space for you to absolutely be safe enough and powerful enough to cleanse yourself, so to speak.
We have about 1 minute left in the show, Renee, and I hope on some level that was very helpful.
Well, I think it was very helpful, and please, can you give your phone number?
Yes, what I'll give you is my email address. And my email address is Esateys@Esateys.com. And that is spelled ESATEYS@Esateys.com. That's the easiest thing to do, is to email me. And I read all of my emails. I will respond absolutely. And you are welcome. Anyone who is listening is welcome to email me. I invite you also to go to the website, www.theidpp.com. That's the Interdimensional Peace Project, to learn more. And there's just, we could stay here for about 5 hours.
I know, we really could. Actually, I just want to say thank you so much, Renee, for calling, and good luck with that. Mara from New Hampshire, Susan from Maine, Sarah from Vermont, Carol from California. I appreciate you sending your quick messages, and I'm so sorry we ran out of time and we weren't able to answer them. You are more than welcome to email me with any questions, or go to my website and get onto my contact form, submit anything you'd like to talk about, and I'd be happy to read these again on next week's show. Esateys, thank you so much, darling. It was such a pleasure to have you on tonight, and the whole world is vibrating right now with all of this fabulous energy that you've brought with you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, my love. I'm truly honored to be a part of your life and a part of this show, and to meld my heart with all of you out there in the world. Thank you. We love you so much.
everyone, just remember that this life is yours. It is what you make of it and what you do with it. You paint the colors of your life, and you pick them on purpose. Remember that. Until next time, everyone, I'll see you next week. Namaste.